Yen penny for baby say, if you are seeing her, will be ma, will be check. Why not HL? So we'll pay IT, won't be 1 year, so we'll pay support. Slam Technology say your number one partner. Your office will US in ye, your office will Ghana so ye, your numbers ni kuhono. So we should share IT classes, we will career coaching, we will support for business cyber security. Free na your partner. Your back fear wow. Slam Technologies. Transformation with excellence. Free is here baby biara me wow.
My name is Calibos, the only boss with one S. Happy new month to all of you. Welcome to a month of new possibilities. Do you know why life has been made so easy? It's because of Tap. People, Tap is here to make your life easy if you want to transfer money to Ghana, if you want to transfer from USA, if you want to transfer from UK, Europe, Canada, a lot of places all to Ghana. And guess what? When it comes to Ghana, there's no e-levy charge. So, what are you waiting for? Download Tap on Google Play Store and App Store and be ready for exciting offers coming your way each time, every time on Tap.
Tap send more, spend less.
All right, ebusa for more about SVTV Africa, so share live on SVTV Africa. Be more be akwaba our YouTube channel SVTV Africa. Thank God it's Friday. What is Fridays? Be a wise man solicitors here program. So I say they be a every Friday be a boha. Internet go straight. You can come on eba bedi. We be say a question before other country one. And the lawyer no name the only man in UK in common to Ghana or UK. And also planning so be UK and now which obusuan be UK. We now for be UK. I make sure so be share link with momo. The inti the course of information is very important. And I make an day be an inti. Me go din komo. Me lawyer wisdom akao every Fridays be an 5:30 to 7. There was say what questions up so be sana comment section or obeti media to all question up so be sana. But inti me nya and say tap here juma. Inti mon confirm mo am send sika no pe we am you say be last month mo on benya problems be near there but benya ntie say omo babaka omo fire na say obetimi asend sika abefie he no wo Europe wo infa wo US wo Canada wo UAE obetimi asend sika abefie abrebusia for nti tap send nti am nya say ejuma but I'll find out from reps ni bi mama send scared no mun find enra no mun confirm me comment section am mun say but mate say ababak tap send no ejuma so by mama go straight am ni lawyer wisdom akao emra ni nkomo yes obi confirm me say tap send is working. Yes, so it's true. Say tap send I started ejuma nti mun kan che mun crofo say tap send is back. Mo am person mo mani sika be fie ni ade no. Yes, choose tap send. Now, tap send so download the app na baby so promo code o failure obenya discounts bebre share so na type SVTV yes SVTV Africa fans but so send this car obenya discounts near there o download the app and the promo code no type SVTV so tap send is back yen corner mini lawyer wisdom akao eni nkomo lawyer
DJ
lawyer boko there
boko where there
me we pa studio B out the pa o. See I just see a studio B nko
DJ they look fine oh, they look fine where.
And they look fresh vegetables. They look fresh.
They look fresh, man.
Lawyer said you look fresh.
They looking fresh, man.
A light and a studio light.
And the aborigines is also looking right.
Yeah, we are lalas no. We are lalas. If you say hey nyame o dey am for din komo na o twi lalas ye twi did you feel less. Okay, Chinese movie near there no Chinese one mo dada e collaborate won say hey no I saw you man. Chawale temple money and then is microphone no mo ko dada e mo chuchomo mo chuchomo la last no lawyer
Yeah.
why is my yes maba
Yeah.
yen kwa eden UK dey say dey bia mo di bibi ba eden na mo dey ba eden
DJ.
ye
Yeah, with us, fine. Yahuya. Me did so be also, Yahuya. DJ, I'm sorry. Last week, you can say about a few things, and this week too, just a few updates. Me did say I will be very active, but of course, just the person me boss briefly. I think on the 29th of September 2025, there was a publication. We might have missed it, but I also believe say it will be very attentive. So let me just quickly go through. I see that's the 29th of September 2025. That was when it was published. So Uko, the Home Office gov.uk site now enter new contribution-based settlement model to reduce net migration. My but this is just an addition. So on the 29th of September, I mean, greetings to everybody. May Jesus say young here by the grace of God. So thank you. The Secretary of State has announced, I'm just reading it from what the source. I see the Secretary of State has announced a proposed new contribution-based settlement model to reduce the net migration, boost integration, and reduce pressure on public services. Now, to ensure people contribute to the economy, and society before being able to settle in the UK. Under the new model, they will have to be lawfully resident in the UK for a minimum of 10 years, double the current period. But remember, it is a proposed new contribution based and yet law yet. So I think I've talked about this anyway, but let me just go through it. A person can earn a reduction in the number of years if they meet earnings or integration requirements, while those who have been non-compliant at any point will be required to wait longer or have their claim refused outright. The Secretary of State, the Home Secretary, has set out the proposed conditions for getting indefinite leave to remain in the UK, including being in work, which I've talked about before, making a certain level of national insurance contributions, which I discussed a time ago, not taking any benefit payments, of course, we discussed that, learning English to a high standard and having spotless criminal record, and giving back by, for example, working in your local community. The plans will be subject to consultation, which will be launched by the end of the year and be open to contributions from the public. The Home Secretary has also announced a winter of action following the success of this year's Safer Street Summer Initiative, which tackles street level crime in over 600 town centers. This winter, police forces across England and Wales will again partner with local businesses and authorities and police and crime commissioners to target shop theft and antisocial behavior during a peak real retail season as part of the government's plan for change to make our streets safer. Well, Niamika before no, I think we talked about that I think a week or so or a couple of weeks ago. Let's sample so briefly. Say the Home Office intends that say the government, not the Home Office, intends that Utna UK they want to make changes to the period over which I went to make at Knakrom from 5 years to 10 years. That is double the period which we have right now in certain cases. Now, it's a proposal, and idea about yet, so let's all take note of it. I believe I've said this before, but I just thought I should go over it. The first one, you must have a job. You must be working, which means you're not dependent on the society. You're not dependent on the government to fund your enjoyment, to fund your living. You must be able to look after yourself. And so just to make sure your family without taking benefits or without relying on the government. So that is one of the requirements. The CIA can say that is not a requirement that you must have a job in certain categories as with indefinite leave to remain. Number two, no benefit. You must not take benefit if you want to get indefinite leave to remain. Again, I mentioned that could be a problem because a minimum benefit, we benefit if you are technically who catch them so they can't survive with their children. And in that case, it is best set you keep them on the benefits. Otherwise, they'll fall below the income support threshold, which means you are putting them into the poverty line, below the poverty line, which is also not a recommendation or it's not acceptable in the UK. And to benefit holiday, I foresee that that can be a problem making that assessment. But of course, Emrani Bar, there would always be some alternatives to it. And three, you have to contribute to society. You have to contribute to society or to your community. Of course, so let's say you are giving back something. You are not only taking, but you're also giving back something to the community. And to the extent that we maybe and you volunteer your time or some days in the charity institutions. If you're food bank, or help them to tidy up in the after the distribution of the food, and now possibly work on Oxfam to wash the in the washing machine. You wash the clothing; those that are not clean, you can help them wash it, dry it, fold it, or hang it on hangers, stuff like that. I just, of course, you are contributing to the community. So Oxfam, Barnabas, with Miabwa, and so let's say cancer research offices. But of course, you don't just walk in there. You must have some arrangement with them before you can go in there to work there on voluntary basis. Of course, British Red Cross, and so wait to me, I volunteer. This is all, or these are all charity institutions or charitable institutions where to make a contributing. That is also part of you giving back to the community. And say emra, it means that say an application for your indefinite leave, they would expect to see say why is some contribution to the society. It means that very likely on the application form now, some requirement based on the box we got to us will take is that have you contributed or have you worked in any charitable institution, etc. So you have to tick that box. So if you have not done anything as such and it becomes law, then you have to do something. Obi Ebisaya said, if we are a Juma sorry, or you contribute to the church in one way or the other, of course, after church service, the instruments. Nano, you pack the instruments, you move the instruments maybe from one place to another, safekeeping, and of course, you tidy up the church premises. Maybe on weekends, you go on evangelism. Would all of this contribute towards contributing to the community? I would say yes, because the churches are charitable institutions, and to say, oh yeah, contributions in the church, it is equivalent to contributing to the charitable institution, which is the church, which is in the community. So I would confidently say yes, that can constitute that. But apart from the church, so over to me in any of these other charity institutions which are not necessarily church connected. So food banks, charities, British Heart Foundation, British Heart Foundation, Oxfam, Cancer Research, British Red Cross, NSPC, and a lot more of other charities in the society. So over to me, I contribute here. That will also help. That is one of the requirements I'm for somebody. And of course, you have to contribute to the social security. I don't a proposal about. So we are waiting to see if this would actually become law. Almost only about for us all to contribute, say if that or these proposals to become law or not. Trying actually what goes on. And of course, you must have a clean criminal record. No criminal record. You must have a clean criminal record, clean slate. So before you can get your indefinite leave to remain. So let's all keep this in mind. And society bar, it maybe not everything will take effect, but some may take effect. And the basa then it means it becomes a requirement to your indefinite leave to remain. And of course, almost you must demonstrate a proficiency in English. Currently, a B1 for indefinite. So, apart from you for a B1 for other categories, ABA or under the 10-year route or under the 5-year route. So as a spouse or as a parent, you would need the English language requirement at level B1. Cecilia Ayeka, we don't know what level they are going to take it to. Is it going to be something higher at the current than what it is right now? Because Usha, I must say, you have to meet you have to speak English, or you have to English proficiency, English, learning English to a high standard. That is what they are saying, to a high standard. So it means that it may be different from near yeah was to say, Mr. Say we are eligible to apply for your indefinite. Don't waste time. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait, because the changes will never be easier than they are now. The change would never be easier or softer than it is now. It's going to be almost always a little more difficult than it is. And don't waste time in working towards your indefinite leave if you are eligible or qualified for it. Questions yeah na ebinom etimi ebisa me say lawyer me ni sika nanso me say me ye me indefinite leave metimi aye fee waiver e di anya indefinite leave ana. Unfortunately say a indefinite leave they don't grant fee waiver for indefinite leave application, so it means you have to pay for the indefinite leave application. Indefinite leave and adult citizenship, there's no fee waiver for this thing. So please bear in mind, indefinite leave, there is no provision for fee waiver if it is indefinitely. 2.5 years, yes, you can do the fee waiver, but for indefinite leave, so far I haven't seen any provision for the fee waiver for indefinite leave applications. So please work on it and get it sorted before it becomes more difficult. So that is a bit of update for us. Now, before we call the main topic, listener, as to how a genuine marriage can be deemed or classified as a false marriage by the Home Office. I know, and I'm a person a bit more worried genuinely, but one or two things, and the Home Office can easily conclude that a false marriage and a fake marriage. What to do to avoid that, or what leads to that? So we'll look at that briefly, then I take the questions. But before, and no, I just want to point to a few things, creative problems for previous applications or applications for people who have applied before. I've again spoken about this before, but I still want to touch on it. Very recently, menya a decision be enyame na me application no em so omwana omu eye and na omo the decision ne ebrime not one, I think on 2 or 3 different occasions. Omo the ebaye no na what happened was that omo the refusal no ebaye. Refusal no omo the baye no ekire say na the individuals had made previous applications to the Home Office. Now, they did certain things that they did not disclose on the new application. So Home Office appointee out a few of the things, or the entry clearance officer appointee out a few of the things that they did, which they did not disclose. Number one, Nepa and Ankrofon only using different names in their previous applications. So different names in previous applications. Now, set why your application bidder and you use a different name. That name was submitted, or you submitted the application using that name. And of course, it means that your passport had that name. Please say, oh yeah, another application in future. Not once sign within year, then just maintain the same name. So if you are called or you were called Kofi Ansa and write your application in that name, then you of course later change your name to Kwame Bedu. Now you are using a new passport which is Kwame Bedu. Now yet besides say, have you made an application before? As I said, who can say yes? Now they would ask you, have you used another name before? You have to say yes, and then the name you use in your previous application, as I said, you have to disclose it on the application form that I was previously called Kofi Ansa, and I'm now called Kwame Bedu. So in that case, what can the you've disclosed that to them. So using different name is very important. You have to disclose it. For Americano, they did not disclose the fact that they used previous names, and that caused problems for them. Two, they changed their dates of birth. The date of birth now, somebody call home office with the previous name in their previous passport. Almost yeah, another book no, almost a sign, a thing no, and almost a sign date of birth no so. Now, these days you can't. There are certain things you can't do these days and get away with it. And see, said you use a different name and you use a different date of birth. You did not disclose these informations to us, and therefore, this said yours is a genuine application, or you have concealed with information at Tewom, and this say you have credibility. Now, the credibility bemunso na echere say yenye wonni we obi a wonye no kwafo wo twantro wo twantro nso a yempese wo ba krom ha na wabetwantro ana wabetwantro e dia ba krom ha. So different name, different date of birth. If you have used those things before or you change your details, you have to disclose it on your application form. And now say utro and now cover letter over to me atro so that please note that I changed my details, or I was previously called by this name and I am now called this name. Of course, that will be on the birth certificate, on the application form anyway. Now, OSHA application form this one, there is no space where they ask you whether you have used a different date of birth before. Date of birth, no, I'm on bisa our form this. Now, so on your cover letter, you can disclose that. If you want things to be straightforward for you, you can disclose that. I have seen a situation where there was an error in a person's date of birth because at the time now, or your passport, now they use a different date of birth, but later, the actual birth certificate, the original one that was issued when that person was born, and they took it back and there was a correction. In that case, you have to explain that at the time this passport was obtained, this birth certificate was bearing this date of birth, but it was an error because we found the correct date, birth certificate, and therefore the passport office accepted that the previous one was a wrong one and I might issue a new one. Once that is done, you have cleared the air, you have clarified it to them. Now they are not going to think that you were lying to them. So date of birth and names, very important. You cannot hide this information these days. You can't, because you would provide your biometric details. And as long as you have used different information before, Niawaya in the past 5 years, 10 years, 15 years or more would all come out. Nina beba. Na ebanswa, you can't say enyewa. You can't deny it because the fingerprints will show that you are one and the same person who used these previous details. Now, one shot, they will refuse your application. And like I said, you have to be consistent. Consistency is very, very important. Consistency is very important so that you don't create problem for yourself. So please take note of that. Consistency, very, very important. Don't let any connection man tell you, oh, because it's our date, because it's our date of birth. It's going to create problem for you. Connection man, the origin is and they're going to get away with it. And there is nothing, absolutely nothing you can do to them because they would tell you they've done what they are supposed to do and they didn't make the decision. They are not the decision makers. Meanwhile, identify you would have spent thousands and thousands of pounds or dollars na here. What's say a so later so we have another option to come because almost see what you're trying to it can affect your subsequent applications. So that is it. Name, date of birth, fingerprint. You can't change those things. You can't change your fingerprint. It will show up. It certainly will show up. So take note of that. Now, there was one occasion, made this situation be called court. Now, Home Office almost refuse say upon application because almost say now Ghana application and Osamba INT almost did say or provided wrong information. Now, meanwhile, about Umfi UK because now no pa Umfi UK she never stepped out of the country during the period na UK. So what happened was na and na call Ghana application or sign up. Over UK with a visit visa now overstay no one call Ghana until our and call yourself up application about UK. And na Home Office for entry clearance for refusing is say what by UK, what by Ghana and why application you refuse to. What's the Saudi what's the Saudi date of birth? And until you refuse because we can drop. This any I'm making here. And because now I knew the situation into we appealed against that decision. We appealed against that decision and we challenged the Home Office. Said, look, this person has never or had never traveled out of the UK during the period she came until she married and went back to Ghana to apply. And in my Home Office, we put them on the spot. Say, look, can you provide? Yeah. And so we provided school now or call UK Hano. We provided all the certificates. School now call now. We provided all the certificates. Juma or while she was here, we provided the P60s. Yeah, sure HMRC. Almost in the employment history by it means she had been working over the years she was in the UK. So employment history, P60s, pay slips, we obtained all of that. School certificates are now we provided all of that. And then we asked the Home Office, say, Samusi or by Wabada and a application I'm refusing that. Mumfa picture na ewo mucha panel. Mumfa picture na embra. That is one. Number two, can you provide the sample biometric or fingerprint evidence for forensic checks to show that she is one and the same person? Because mostly the date of birth is different, the name is different. We believe she's the same person. We were saying, no, she is not the same person, and therefore you cannot refuse the application. This is the evidence that the period you claim she came to Ghana to apply, she never left the UK. These are the evidence that we have. Pay slips, bank statement, proof of address, school certificates, P60, HMRC records, and even some letter the HMRC sent to her, a check the HMRC sent to her that she was due for some tax refund. We produced all of that, and we asked the Home Office, produce the fingerprint, produce the picture. And we won that appeal hands down because they had no proof. So ABB is a different thing compared to what I would name for Ghana and wakoye sa application na wo Ghana why sa application no enna wasan akọ sisa wodin akoye and no dey to create problem for you. So please take note of that. Using false documents. I've discussed this over and over, and I want to emphasize it again that don't use false documents. Don't use false bank statements. Don't use a genuine bank statement with false information on it. It makes the whole bank statement a false document. Even if account never will demo, but the entries are not correct, it makes the bank statement a false document. It makes the bank statement a false document. A Yawawa account, yes, but Sikana Shisha Suna Udiakono, it's not correct entries. It makes the bank statement a false document. So I am pleading with everybody. Yes, we want to travel, but you don't want to be in the desperation of traveling. You mess up everything. And later in future, so unya a clean chance and poor because you already messed the situation up. You are unable to pass the hurdle in a subsequent application. You will not be able to meet it. So please let's take note of that so that we don't put ourselves in difficulty. Now, so Home Office credibility issues, credibility issues, and maybe almost say you haven't proved your identity enough, and we don't believe that you are the same person. So, evidence wouldn't say you can use to challenge the application. Please appeal and produce those documents to challenge it because it is your reputation that is on the line. So please take note of that. Thank you very much. Now I want to look at briefly why would the Home Office say obi a genuine relationship. Everybody is aware that this is a genuine relationship. Under what circumstances and a Home Office because this relationship is a fake relationship, either from outside the UK or inside the UK. But my focus this afternoon and this evening is based on Yanga Yefi outside the UK airborne. If you are worried, who person over can't we read and now you're from for interview, and the Home Office says no, after this and that, we think that it's not a genuine relationship. Therefore, we don't think we have to give you the visa. What can make the Home Office believe that the relationship is not genuine? Now, there are some 4 very important questions. As I said, will be example of mostly when it comes to relationship, marriage relationship. When it comes to marriage or marital relationship and you want to bring your partner, there are some 4, 5, 6 very important questions you got to ask yourself before you proceed with this application. Bisa wo say wo na wo the decision maker. Wo na Home Office afa wo say your decision. Na se obi di documents na wo di aircon no ebeto wo anim a wo begye tumu ana wo nye ntum say a genuine relationship. I mean, don't be subjective in answering this question. Be objective. Act as if you are working for the Home Office. Obi the information is there. Yes, you are acting for the Home Office. Obi the information there. Say officer okokani kuno. Now all the some details we have. Bisa who say wo and a document now wo di kwakoto ni panenim. Wo na ye di abeto wanimu a. Obegye to say I am relationship and our pa na bisa wo ho. Say answer na yes sir. Then that is at least you pass 50%. The answer na no, that tells you straight away you're going to fail at the first hurdle because then don't expect to be from begye to say our papa. And see, I'm gonna be so there are some questions. One, when did you first meet? When did you first meet? Where? When did the relationship start? So first of all, the meeting point is different from when the relationship started. When you met is different from when the relationship started. So please take note of that. When you met is different from when the relationship started. These are 2 different dates. When you met is different from when the relationship started. So let me give an example. I been in court. Now the judge Ebisa Mamene said, when did you first meet? She said it, and then the judge followed up with, when did the relationship start? And she said the same day. Straight away, I knew we were losing that case, and we lost it big time. Now, papa no wɔ court maybe because ɔno de yɛayɛ no examination in chief, cross examination, reason nti na ɔte court hɔ no bi ansa na maame no ɛreba for her turn. And papa no nya car saa pɛ no papa maame no nya car saa pɛ na papa no ewu sɛ ne sɛ so adeɛ asɛ nti yɛpie no papa no sɛ mama adɛn na wayɛ me saa nea ɛsɛ sɛ meyɛ ma obiara ma yɛ ama wakɔ sɛ application yɛ ama me because there is no way Dana imene ushaya dana na relationship ni start here and dana na obetina me fie. Judge say it doesn't happen. So they would ask you first of all, when did you first meet? Now when you met can be different times. Your answers must be consistent, must be the same. So Papa ni kase I met you at the beach. Mama nso eso kase we met at the beach. Say a hotel a hotel. Say a restaurant a restaurant. There are different places where people, different times where people meet. Now, when the question is when, it's talking about time. When? Time. It can be, was it during the raining season in Ghana? Which month? What date? Time. We share. Please take note of that. I went for my father's funeral in August 2020 something. That is when I met her. I went for a Christmas celebration in 2021. That was when I met her, etc., etc. Then the next question is, where did you meet? When is different from where. Take note. Where did you meet? There are different occasions where people meet. Where? When is different from where. Where can be you met at a friend's house or in a friend's house. You have to be specific. If you write that we met in a friend's house, what is the friend's name? Where is the house? Is it at Alajo? Is it in Medina? Is it in Legon? Is it at Bawe? Is it at Kaswa? You have to be specific. I met her in my friend's house in Bawe, or Kaswa, or Kaneshin, or Adabraka, or Malata, or what do you call it, La Paz, or wherever. You have to be specific. Now, just in case your friend will for interviewer, your answers will have to collaborate each other. It has to be a reflection, a mirror of the other. It has to be consistent. So we met in a friend's house. You can mention the friend's name. Was it at a funeral? You got to be consistent. Funeral where? Is it in Accra? Funeral in Sunyani? Funeral at Nsawam, Edwejiri? Funeral at Ho? Funeral in Koforidua? You got to be specific. You have to be specific. Funeral, you got to show. Now, what happened at the funeral? These are the things we talk about, the background history or the background story. And the case where can you share background story now? Straight away, Wajitum said, this is a relationship before he even goes down to other things. But if the background story is already faulty, it's already, weak, clearly it gives them room to explore other things. And was he at the party? Yes. Where? Was he in a friend's house? Yes. Where? Was he at a funeral? Whose funeral? What happened at the funeral? Where did the funeral take place? What time of the year was it? You need to be consistent. A naming ceremony? Whose naming ceremony? Whose child's naming ceremony was it? You have to. And these are questions talking about where. Was it in church? You need to tell. Yes, we met in church. Which church? Where? Is it at Carnation Presby Church? You got to be specific. Remember, you can't meet at Carnation Presby Church in Medina because Carnation Presby Church is Carnation, not Medina. So the question, one question will lead to another. Be specific. Shopping mall. Was it at the shopping mall? You have to be specific. You got to be specific. Which shopping mall? Is it Accra Mall? Is it the one in Kaswa or wherever it is along the way? You got to be specific. Was it in Kumasi? You have to be specific. Where? You have to be specific. Now, was it in Trotro? You have to be specific. Trotro from where? Is it from? Your friend is saying, circle to Legon, and I circle to Dodoa, and I circle to Adenta. You got to be specific. You have to know. You got to be specific. Taxi. Was it in a taxi? Possibly. You have to be specific. Was it at the bus stop? Yes, maybe in a friend's house, etc. Sometimes you met online. These days, people meet online. They start chatting online before it graduates or before it advances from there to another level. You have to be specific. Some answers need a different pair on occasions when they call you for interview. That's straight away. Even if the marriage is genuine, because your answers are not consistent, it will be deemed as a false marriage. Even though the marriage may be genuine, true relationship, if you don't keep your story straight, straight away they will conclude that the relationship is fake or false. So you have to take note. If you met online, which of the social media? Was it Facebook? Was it whatever it is? Was it through X, etc., etc.? Whatever means you met, you have to be specific. Did you meet or did you get to know each other by an introduction? Maybe family connection, a family friend introduced somebody to you and then you connected from there and became friends. You have to specify that. So this is only about where and when. Where, place, when, time. Very important. Then the next thing is, when did the relationship start? If your answers are not consistent, even a genuine relationship can be deemed to be a false relationship. When did the relationship start? Yes, we met in December 2024 when I went for Christmas celebration. And we met at a friend's, Christmas party. A friend organized a Christmas party for us in Tiakoin, one of the people who were serving the drinks and the food and the chips and stuff like that. And the area of a survey, oh, Charlie, this chick is, solid. I engage her in talking small, and then from there, me number, and me pass me number, Eddie man, and then from there, after the party, me friend, also friend me. Then from there, we started chatting. This is what we call the background story. So where you met, when you met. Now, after a month or so, after the Christmas party, me signed by UK, my no maintain contract, after 2-3 months, and also based on that, may a proposal, doing the birthday party, the birthday, and I'm sending the and I took that opportunity to say, oh yes, look, I'm interested in a relationship with you. Do you want to carry on with you? And then she agreed. So the meeting was during the Christmas party. And Christmas party is Christmas party. Christmas party is December. Christmas party cannot be in November. And Christmas cannot be in March. So you met in a friend's house at a Christmas party in December 2024, 25th December. That's where you met. And then you started talking, and relationship started in May 2025. So December to May. December was the meeting. May was when the relationship started. December meeting. May relationship started. So you realize that there's a 5 months or 6 months interval. Then you need to start producing evidence of the relationship. Now, since the relationship started, where is the evidence? At the end, it says you've maintained the relationship, and there has to be a genuine and subsisting or genuine and continuing relationship. And yes, once in 2 weeks, once in 3 weeks, no. And so we need to see that there's continuous relationship during the intervening period now, from when the relationship started. onwards. So evidence of relationship, telephone calls, proof, of course. Muslim worry, there is a gap of 3 months, no relationship, no calls, no text message, no WhatsApp calls, no pictures, absolutely nothing. And I'm your home office, I made a decision. I'll tell you, I don't believe that this is a genuine relationship. Even if it is genuine, I don't believe that it is continuing or it is subsisting because of the gap now, a gap of maybe 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. I won't believe it. I won't accept that it's a genuine relationship. On that basis, I would refuse the application. So that is, I'm being very open. I will refuse the application. If I will refuse it, trust you me, the Home Office will refuse the application because you haven't persuaded them well enough that it's a genuine relationship. So WhatsApp calls, telephone calls, WhatsApp messages, etc., etc. Now, some of the WhatsApp calls WhatsApp calls are every 45 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 45 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Now, all this had any premier me. So me na me home officer. I'll refuse the application or I'll call you to clarify. Obi a wouldn't know what relationship mu. Now we need 45 seconds. If you are near a 5 minutes, I won't accept that. Usually, I won't accept that. And I don't think anybody will accept that. You're in a relationship with somebody and you're chatting them for 45 seconds, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. For 6 months, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute. Be honest. No. And sometimes the longer it takes, the better the proof, the better you are able to argue out that this is a genuine relationship. And of course, so look, people who are in love can talk for hours. Some people can talk for 1 hour, 1.5 hours. They're on the phone. Sometimes they don't even have anything to say, but they're just on the phone. Now, you've been talking for 30 minutes, 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 30 minutes. Now, over many months, what did 2 case work on anymore? That in itself rings a mighty bell. And who could actually say, so phone calls, video calls, screenshots, money transfer receipts. Now, say Obama never come here. That's Obama never outsider. And yet compulsory and a mandatory so Obama send Papa especially as Papa Yijuma. Culturally, that is not it's not mandated. And yet some are a bit more than as an Papa once or twice, 3 times, 4 times, few times. That's fine. But se Papa na Hanas or Obama na Ghana, it is normally, it's not the law, but it is normally expected. So many Yijuma poor. Once in a while, Papa chipping the because sweetie, I mean, just take this for the money transfer receipts for hey, be na Papa no Juma or Ghana, or Bani Shesu, edition, we agree. But on some occasions, into Abian was sending the visas kakra. Thank you. So, phone calls, WhatsApp messages, money transfer receipts, screenshots, video calls, other communication records. Now, there should be no gaps of several months. And of course, kokosra obano, kokosra, and kokosra ukuno, it shows there's a relationship ongoing. So that is also a proof that the relationship is subsisting. Yes, it is genuine, but it has to be continuing. No gaps in that. So that is it. Photos. You send each other pictures here and there. That is all very important. I just said the relationship is continuing and truly continuing. So that is it. There has to be evidence of family involvement. We'll see what you obey. One picture behind any papa, any mommy, any uncle, any brothers, the sisters, or anybody is involved in this. It's just the 2 of you all the time. Please. So we now home office help. We'll worry will be back. I will for family. No single picture of any family member, just the 2 of you all the time. And you over there too. So these are some of the things that show that the relationship is subsisting. Now, so I do interview well. A lot of people make mistakes. But before I call interview this during the WhatsApp messages now, Learn share some of the messages now we can. And look at me, creative problem amount. We have messages. I feel I'm mukasa about sikasam and I went to Zikana Mamia and I make as a minion as a now. Sɛ wo ne obi aware na wo ne no kasa na mo yɛ messages na wo kasa about when Jamaica we are menye we ma wo ana one pastor ma wanye we wo ne home officer we dey na obedwe na wait me aka some message ga dey but now come person menye ma wo na so obi na please the content of the messages alone is enough to conclude that it's a fake relationship. And Tiana in checky the messages are. Ebia, sir, only we didn't into call Montempo. Ebia, I show a before, and now can I show before now, person can be. Please, O cow phone swa, she intro her near Ukaya, but who got type pet at the Asamaba. Would you come a lawyer, and a lawyer, and so on your time, and check it be. Cancer lawyer, any part. Would the communication of 100 pages are command? Lawyer, no. Ebia on your time and go through all your messages, 100 pages messages. On to me and check it. And where share idea about or no end to me and hono and no sooner on making idea refusal. I don't see as a so one casancasa, which is share with near me ye, which is show with near me year. The map was it nano application with their echo very straightforward for you. So let's take note of that. Now, interview. So I do interviewer. Sometimes some number for interview. Let's say omo who be beer, omo and Thomas someone omo for interview. And no a issue. Now we do interview. So I'm going to maybe some questions. Be when did you last meet? When did you? That is after you've been married. When did you last meet? When did your husband last meet you? When did he leave Ghana? When did he? What was the last place you met? What does he do? Who completed the application form for you? Were you there when application form was completed? Was your husband there when application form was completed? What is your religion, etc., etc. Now, some information I even so Edison said, "Wo worry." Afraid na wo bisa wo kunu say, and I will didn't say, "What is your father's name?" Now, kuna type if my father's name is his date of birth is my mother's name is her date of birth is this is. Please say one now we are home office officer. Not say one who say information in what Obani kuno anane Obani ne WhatsApp so obisa ne kuno the father's name ana obisa ne your father's name. Who be doing there? Straight away, who be doing say papa. Na ebia who this message ni konso when you am fast when you am baso say as a set I mean kind of saying some information and as I got bedroom na akoka de no so na akoda bedroom e ba ni sa almost oba waware obema for 2 years and 1 year and 8 months after na obisa no so papa den di sanya e na kire se bibi wo ho a enkoyi na wansha eno the problem aba after na obisa no say do you wear glasses or not obi waware no obisa so do you wear glasses or share glasses and I want him you're creating problem for yourself. So some of the information you put in the WhatsApp messages can be a problem. I won't be said, do you have any children? What are their names, their dates of birth in your messages? That can also create problem for you. And these are some of the questions they ask during interview. So I would say, questions need to be ufra na wabisa enya dia esese eba mu nkomodie mu ewo messages no mu because no ebia ubisa wadwempem nanso home office officer na oye decision no ono die ohuye no onim se enye ade a okunu bebisa oyiri ni ana ade a ana asem a eyiri bebisa ekunu ni and one share na omo misconstrue everything. That is why it is important for you to, of course, make sure that information is need here no. Video why as offer now be any idea as I said will come in the chat, etc., etc. So because of this interviews, especially on also, like I said, they don't believe that the relationship is genuine. Now, we got intervene beside questions. You are hesitating. I feel that we can answer to answer the question and also let me create no, this relationship, this marriage, even though it may be genuine, because of the hesitancy or reluctance in answering questions, it is a fake marriage. Even though the marriage is genuine, but because your answers are not forthcoming, every time my interviewing officer can say, I don't believe that the relationship is genuine. And now sometimes, you have rehearsed the answers, you chew and pour. Yeah, beside question one, no, dear, question two, no, dear, question. It's like you are even prepared before the question comes. As soon as the question comes, I say you have rehearsed it. You have rehearsed it. Let the answers, rehearse the answers. It got to be natural. And some not natural, so will be a someone response. But to say you want rehearse the idea to where you piece up and now only part of the question can now the answer. Yes, it could be a general relationship, but the way you approach it or you go about it, bet me and my home office for again say, now on the balance of probability, me did say our way and our report. Now, once you show name here, and Kadia because straightforward now. Sikabe pray, ever refuse it. A friend now call court. You have to wait for court date for maybe another 1 year. You have to spend a lot of money to lodge appeal, go through all the processes. It's a lot of money. But yeah, she share so that relationship that is genuine would not be deemed as false or a fake relationship. So let's take note of that. Let's take note of that. So let me summarize it. They talk about for relationship to be deemed to be genuine, the Home Office, you need to you have to be detailed, tell about your relationship, let the story be clear and concise. Do not talk too much. On your cover letter, be concise, be precise, be straightforward, let it be clear. Clear to the extent that even a class 4 boy can true. And now Obia over two story no Obakazo in fact the GT said we our reply. That is that. So be detailed, but tell your story about your relationship. Let it be straight, let it be clear, let it be concise. Now be consistent. Let your statement be consistent. Don't write in one paragraph, one statement, and then in the paragraph 4, what kind of paragraph 4 goes to contradict what is in paragraph 1. That is a problem. That can create a problem for you. So please be consistent. Every statement and document must be in agreement. Things must be in agreement. You have to be transparent by explaining any issues or anything that might be seen to be irregular or shows that relationship is not genuine. Any document which may create problem for you, please take note of that so that you don't have problem with it. I'll give you an example. Obi Eddie money transfer receipts be Abraham. Now, some money transfer receipts now, we'll share the serial numbers now. We take time to go through some of these things. We may miss one or two here and there, but a lot of time we take time to go through some of these things. Now, we share serial numbers on the money transfer receipts now or the brain, and you're not saying I usually tap any account, but this was the time when they were writing the money transfer receipts with hand. We share serial numbers now. Eric booklet by Akono is just for that man and his wife. Because the numbers follow 000123, 000124, 00125, all the way for 2 months. For 2 years. There is no way only you will have one money transfer book, and you are the only person they issue it to. And it's a book transfer now. But is a people from Sakoye and the Woodiano, a 000123. If the next time we work on a 00147 something. But say 123, 124, 125, 126, 126. There is just no way it will work out that way. Bibi say no, I could Home Office anymore straight away when you say some money transfer now with the Avano is not genuine documents. So these can also be problems for us. So let's take note of that. So let the documents be clear, consistent, and genuine. Now don't exaggerate. Don't overemphasize. Don't exaggerate. What can sorry need to to the extent say. Sorry, true mom, but what do I drink too long and say, Davy? Too true. The story is too true. No, Shana, you've over exaggerated, so don't do that. Don't respond as though you have rehearsed. I've talked about that. your timeline should correspond. The timeline when you met, where you met, when relationship started, when you moved in together, when you started, you decided to marry, and when you married, what was the last time you met? It's a timeline. When you met, where you met, when relationship started, when you decided to marry, when you married, what was the last time you met? What was the last visit? You have to have that in a timeline, and it has to correspond from both sides. With that, nobody can say your relationship is not genuine. Evidence is what we use to prove that you kind of correct. So what kind of correct? Not only evidence now, and now your evidence is contradictory, your relationship is deemed to be false. Let's not get ourselves into that territory, which is going to lead to a waste of money and time and resources. And DJ, we did see her. We did say I have actually explained a few things, and I can take some questions now if we have any questions. Thank you so much. Thank you, Darlington Lexus. Hi, good evening to you too. I got 7 months remaining on my spouse visa. Please, can I start with my application to obtain indefinite leave to remain? No, it's supposed, well, I don't know the route on which you are. If you're on the 10-year route, then it means you should do 10 years, or you should do, you should apply for indefinite leave 28 days before you get the 10 years. Now, if you're on the 5-year route, I want to know if you were in the UK when you married, or if you came into the UK after the marriage. If you came into the UK after marriage, then the 5 years starts from the date you arrived. So you work 5 years from the date you arrived, and then you put it in. But if you were here before you married, then you can only put it in, of course, calculating from when you granted it, and it's 5 years from when you were granted, and you do it 28 days before the 5 years. So not 7 months, not 7 months. Ado Jeff, hi Jeff, I hope you're doing good. Please, good evening to you. What about those without documents but are staying with someone with indefinite leave, please? Of how long can the person start to process his documents? Well, if you have no document and you are living with someone who has indefinite leave to remain, like a spouse, or in a relationship like a spouse, like husband and wife, even though you are not married. So that is what we call partnership or non-resident durable relationship. Now, in this case, if you have lived in a relationship for 2 years, then you can make that application. But remember that you have no leave, you have no visa. So there has to be some additional information, which is either you have a child together, or your partner has a child, and you are applying based on your partner and your stepchild. If you have no visa, you have no leave to be in the UK, and there is no child involved, and your relationship is with the person who has indefinite leave to remain, and there is no insurmountable obstacle, then you may be required to go out, apply to come back in. But if there's a child, you don't go anywhere, you do everything here. Thank you, brother. I hope I have responded to your question. Darlington likes this again. Okay, good evening. I got 7 months remaining myself. Please, can I start? I think I've just replied to this one. Thank you. Abredu Kwame, hi. Please, when you get your spouse visa from Ghana and you want to enter the UK, will you need to register your UK visa? Yes, once you enter the UK, the first one they issue you, the three months they issue you, or the 6 months they issue, depending on whether you're an EU family member or a family member of a person who is a British citizen or indefinite leave. They give you 3 months. When you enter with the 3 months, then you have to do your e-visa in the UK. You do your e-visa when you are here in the UK. But the first 3 months in your passport allows you to enter, and then you do your e-visa when you get here. Thank you. Peter 2410. If my wife has indefinite leave and my child has his British passport, can I also use my son's citizenship to obtain my indefinite leave if I have 6 months remaining to stay in the UK for 5 years? Thank you. Yes. If your wife has indefinite leave to remain and your child is a British citizen and you have married, you said my wife, so that means you're married and you are on the 2.5 years, and 2.5 years, total of 5 years under the 5-year route, then you can go for your indefinite leave to remain after the 5 years. But when I say after the 5 years, it means 28 days before the 5 years is up. So if the 5 years will be up in December, let's say 25th December, you can make your application 27th of November. That is 8 days, 28 days before the 25th of December. So again, if the 5 years will be up on the 25th of December, you can make your application from the 27th of November. That's when you have to make it. So yes, your wife has indefinite, your child is British. If you're on the 5-year route, then yes, you can go for indefinite leave after the 4 years, 11 months. If you're on the 10-year route, then you have to wait until you've done 59. 10 years is 120 months, right? Yes. 5 years is 60 months. 10 years is 120 months. So it means you have to do 119 months if you are on the 10-year route. 119 months. If you're on the 5-year route, 59 months. Thank you. King Bros. How long does it take to get a hearing date at the first year tribunal? Well, brother, that's a very good question. It's taken very long, very, very long. I have some applications or some appeals that have been in the court for over a year. Some have been there for a year and 3 months, a year and 4 months. It's just a very slow and painstaking process, very, very slow, because they claim there are no judges. And sometimes you wait until a year and a year and a half, and when you go, you have to have the hearing. They right back to tell you there are no judges, so the case is adjourned. I had one 2 days ago. The hearing should have been today, which is Friday. They wrote to us that the hearing is adjourned because there are no judges. No judges. So we don't know how long it's going to take now. So it's taken very, very, very long for cases to be heard at the first year tribunal. Please, so if the lady has a child, but the child is not your own, can you process? Yes, of course. Once your partner has a child and you've been with her for 2 years, there is evidence to show 2 years relationship. Maybe you have gas, water, electricity, GP records, stuff like that for 2 years, and you are involved in this child's life. There is evidence that you are involved in this child's life. The school has your name there as the emergency contact, etc., etc., and you can produce all of this. Yes, the child is not your child, but the child has become your stepchild. On that basis, you can, of course, certainly apply to stay in the UK under Appendix FM section, LTRP, as a partner, of course, with the child being the main point of arguments in your application. That is possible. Jeff, thank you very much.
Lawyer!
DJ.
The questions are made by
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So,
my wise man solicitors, lawyer, me that say the contact, office contacts, na screen is all show no, mobile name, lawyer office location, in Aminjao.
Yo, DJ, me just said next week, I admire Ross to the A and see, we'll broadcast live from Studio A next week, God willing. Yeah, Dalston Junction, yeah, Wise Smart Solicitors, number 18 to 22 Ashwin Street, 8 to 9 the Print House, Dalston, London. Postcode is E8 3DL. Telephone number 0208 0165 384. 0208 0165 384. Mobile number 07931 411 042. 07931 411 042. That is the those are the details. You were Dalston Junction behind the McDonald's, a hop and near walk. We have Akola Theatre, and then we have a church on the right hand side too, Akola Theatre. We are on the same side with the Akola Theatre, and it is number 18 to 22 Ashwin Street. 18 to 22 Ashwin Street. Who do Dawson Market now, Ubisa Ajua, Money Matters, Adum, and all the Ghana shops. Now Ubisa for Wiseman Solicitors, Katie Restaurant, Ubisa for to direct us to us, Wiseman Solicitors. We are happy to help our people. Ubankwa, Yebesho, Uba, Yebesho. DJ, Nyame Aduma, I'm sure that next week we may open the lines to take questions. We may open the line to take some questions, live call phone-ins. If you have any questions, you have any issues, we can discuss those ones. DJ, maybe or why maybe some can want some with regards and yeah, but maybe next week issues about ABA obi wo UK ha o pese obi nye bibi man wo Ghana on want to menko bibi o ho friend power of attorney. How do we go about it? ABA who was say people pese wo ton now so want to menko Ghana o pese brother be enton ma bibi o ho friend power of attorney with your money power of attorney with your money to mix up on that hot amount. Very important. So maybe DJ one day you say cause about will. Also, yempe will ye cry because we have to pay when him say, hey, me.
Will yeah there. And remember they had the number will.
It's a good question. Remember who about to saying like
And I'm ban all your money will. Remember, be I kind remember we have a kind will. Obemane or irate or be hearing your non will be the Biamane.
Oh, you just say about number ones on
Lawyer!
Yes, sir.
Ever touch you on it, but that's the first all the best.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
your week.
You
Lawyer straight from the UK, from Wiseman Solicitors, Madam SVTV Africa. Obeso ba mi show no subia, Madam had a many amount for dinkomo, amount for share more experience from Ghana, business links, some of your businesses for Ghana, me no dinkomo, share videos, sir. Maybe our first time I will near Bosunia, near Domanoso, and me see videos, not videos. Over 7,000 videos. Ube 20 create crowd and now say yes. No, I done it. Ube huni ekoso. Ube si anyama bibri about life from Ghana, businesses, opportunities. Ninyina style biabi. Our Raymond hustling life. Ninyina betibi. Madam, I say mo share SVTV Africa. Madam Production team. Mama, shout out to the class. Adu Jeff, thank you so much for joining. King Bronx 1, thank you so much. Abubakar Alasa, thank you so much. Darlington Lexix, thank you so much for joining. Kwame Abrado Medase, so joining. Peter 2024 Medase, Kofi Apia Medase, Master Medase, Prince Bedu Medase. Mom join the class in Medase. Big shout out to Munina. Videos in there. Beba, me we are another video. Beba, Madam say, subscribe to your channel now. I'm share. If you are there, Tibia, the Biasana Musicano, Ebebo. Information is very important. Only information there. Tiati. You know what they go on.
Living in Ghana, abroad, a first timer visiting Ghana, or a company wondering where to get quality service providers in Ghana for any job? Then Ejumapa On Demand Services is here to assist you. Ejumapa On Demand Services connect requesters and service providers such as masons, plumbers, electricians, auto repairers, home and office cleaners, trash collectors, rent agents, spa attendants, roofers, beauticians, teachers, CCTV installers, and all artisans on one platform. Yes, one platform. Trust Ejumapa On Demand Services to sort you out any day, anywhere, and at any time. To download the app, please visit the App Store and Play Store or visit our website www.ejumapa.com.